I'm an idiot. I have feelings. You can't make money.
Here's a weird bit of gossip that I heard from someone who shall remain anonymous.
Okay.
So Stuttering John comes to work today in a cab, of course. That's how he does it every day. And he calls up, I think, Jason, one of the guys who works in our back office, and he goes, I'm in a cab. I have no money. Come down here with money.
Is that why Jason was running out?
Yeah.
Because I never see him. Every morning he's running out.
I wouldn't have run down. I would have just said, F you.
Cab, yeah.
Sit there.
That's unbelievable. Who doesn't have money? How could you get in a cab and not have money?
Well, see, I took out $100 and I put it in my pocket. I don't know if my wife took it out or something.
Dude, you're making a lot of money with your appearances. I mean, you can't scream poverty.
It gets worse, Howard. Yesterday, I took a cab with Artie. Artie bought lunch, so I felt bad, so I didn't want to ask him to pay for the cab. So I was driving home. I had no wallet. I called my wife, couldn't find it. I had to call my doorman. He had no money. My doorman called downstairs to the...
Is your life so busy and complicated you can't hold on to some money? Like, in other words, you can't find your wallet? And you can't... I mean, are you that disorganized?
Yeah.
What is it, your OCD? Do you put
No, it's not OCD. I swear to God. It doesn't do with OCD. I promise.
Yeah, this is almost an everyday thing. He never has money for the
See, I was so mad yesterday.
But this is a weird personality thing because he does have money. But it's almost like a miserly thing. Like, if I don't have it on me, I can just...
Right.
I mean, Jason makes way less money than you.
And he has money.
Well, I pay him back. Is everything analyzed? Like, can't just be that I just...
Dude, it's not like if I forgot my wallet maybe once a year... And I know you're smiling, but I think it's incredibly disturbing that you get into a taxi cab.
And you still use things. You know you have no money.
And you know what? You are so relaxed. This is how you get your wife to do everything. Maybe it's a blessing. You're so relaxed that, I mean, before I get into a cab, I count how much money I have. Will I have enough change? I mean, I am so worried that I'll forget my money that I check. Talk about OCD. I check 20 times just to make sure I've got money.
But even yesterday, when he got away from Artie, he knew he had no money. He did not hesitate to get into a cab.
And it's almost like when you were in high school, like my parents never gave me money. Like they gave me like $5 a week or something. So like when I got my driver's license, you know, I go to the gas station and get $3 worth of gas.
Yeah.
So,
you know, the guy get pissed.
Blessing, yeah.
But he's still doing that.
But
well, you know
Howard,
what?
it's worse. It's worse. It's his whole life. Because yesterday, or the day before, he came downstairs and I gave him a ride home. That's why he had money that day. I gave him a ride home. And as we're getting into the car, the guy from the garage says, John, he goes, I know, I owe you a check.
Do you, what are you up to, man?
What are you talking about?
Do you tip the cab driver?
Yeah.
You do, with Jason's money?
I gave him an extra $5.
He gets an extra tip.
I was late.
I give him an extra $5.
Because I had to make him wait a few minutes.
And what do you say to the cab driver when you're sitting there waiting? Say, I forgot my wallet?
Well, today, I said, listen, I screwed up. I think my wife stole my money, whatever. And then he was, don't worry about it. That's cool. I said, just leave the meter running.
He blamed his wife. Leave the meter running. What a sport.
Then yesterday, the cab driver
It would be cheaper for you to carry your own money.
See, yesterday I screwed up.
Yeah. How brilliant.
I planned on borrowing 20 from you, Rob, I forgot.
I want to put out an idiot. Don't lend him money anymore.
All right. You're cut off.
He's cut off. Cut him off and help him. Now he's going to have to worry. Jason, you are not to come down and give him cab money.
Well, how are you going to help him with the doorman?
That's out of my control.
I do feel bad. I do feel bad because Jason said once he had to actually run to the ATM and get money out.
Why is he doing that for you? Who are you?
He's a good friend of mine.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. You use him.
I love Jason.
Yeah, right.
I do. I do love Jason.
Well, how are you going to feel about him when he stops lending you money?
I'm going to still love him.
John and I were just talking about what...
Don't lend him money.
I don't. He knows.
I never borrow. Ask Gary.
He knows not to ask me. I cut him off years ago. I'm not cheap. I just cut him off years ago.
Gary's cheap?
Yeah.
You're not.
Getting money out of Gary is like getting blood from a stone.
John, you shouldn't know that. Why don't you bring your own money?
Yeah, why are you trying to get money out of him?
Getting money out of Gary.
No, I know that.
You're the cheap one.
I know that because in the old days when I used to park Robin's car or whatever, I needed like $1.
Yeah.
And I used to ask Gary never had money. Or like you needed money for the show, like to buy like...
ask Robin if you're driving her car.
Yeah.
What are you asking him for?
Because she was on the air or something.
Whatever. Go to her and say, you got to give me $20 a week for tips.
No, now it's my fault.
Yeah.
You're
cheap.
But I know you have no money to give. I know that.
I have no money to give you.
Yeah.
But I also,
and you know what? Why should you?
And I also know that, like, John and I were just having a conversation about what to tip the guys in the garage.
Yeah.
And John was tipping one of the guys, I thought, a little excessively. Yeah. And I said, what's that all about? He goes, well, he lends me money all the time.
Right. He's paying him back.
Yeah, I mean, I take care of him.
Well, he's a banker.
But wait, when John, and this is John's funny thing, if you lend John money all the time, he's a good friend. He does a lot of stuff for me.
Yeah.
He's a friend.
He's a friend.
But he's not your friend.
Jason's a friend.
David's a friend.
No, the other guy. You don't go to the ball game with him. And David, he's not really a friend either.
No, David's a friend.
I'm friendly with David.
Where do you see him? In the garage?
Well, David, I had to. Well, I don't want to get into personal, but I had to save his ass one day really bad. So after he
saved his ass,
so it's blackmail.
He was once, accused of something he didn't do, and I think.
Do you believe this guy's life?
I do, because I see it all the time.
Wow,
You're not privy to this. This goes on a daily basis.
You know what? I track him.
He's more work than a dog.
I got to tell you what happened with John and I the other day, because we were calling John the other day. I was so angry at him because he was supposed to work on something, but he was sick. And he left, so I understood that he was sick. It was fine. But then I saw him leaving with Robin, and I thought he went to lunch with Robin, so I was calling his cell phone.
No, she drove me home. She drove me home, guys.
I know,
he glommed a ride off me that day.
I thought you guys went to lunch because...
No. I'm almost done.
But you have money. What about going to the ATM and getting $400 for the week?
I got 100 yesterday, Howard.
Why would you just take out 100?
Yeah,
you go through 100.
What happened to 100?
You go through 100 in 5 minutes because you have to pay everyone back.
Well,
take out 200. You obviously don't take out enough.
Well, you know what it is? If I have $200 in my wallet, I'll start taking everyone to lunch.
Why don't you control yourself?
When? You're going to start.
Why don't you stop going to lunch? Start bringing a bag lunch. You want to save some money.
Howard,
who do you know around here eats out lunch every day?
John.
And Artie.
I don't do that. Artie's got money.
Right, exactly.
But John eats out almost every day.
John lives the life of a king.
Artie pays for 2 people every day.
I got a John classic at lunch. We go to this Brooklyn diner a lot. It's a nice place. And because we go there all the time, every once in a while they'll throw us a free lunch, which is very nice. So a couple weeks ago we're there. We eat like kings. Like, we have like a $70 lunch there, eating a bunch of stuff. And the waitress is breaking her ass. Guy goes, you know what, it's on me. So you got to tip the waitress even though it's on them.
Right.
So I see John going into his pocket, and I figure, okay, John's going to take care of it. Thank God I look down. He throws something on the table, and we leave. I look down, crumpled up and ripped out of his pocket. There are $2.
Oh, my God.
Which would have been a bad tip if we paid for it.
Yeah.
So I was...
$2.
That's all the cash I had. I was hoping Artie would chip
John, stop going out to lunch every day. You can't afford it, obviously. You can't afford to pay for your lunch. You can't tip the waitress. What are you doing?
I don't think you can tip on credit cards. It's only had $2.
So say to them, I want to leave her a tip on a credit card.
Or tell me in that case, we got to tip her.
I was hoping you
were going to leave her $2. And that's a place you go every day.
Yes. Well, I've tipped them a lot.
So you'll see her the next day.
And I'll give her the other 20.
Sure you will. Oh, what a dick you are.
You know how out there John is?
You're just so irresponsible.
You know what? And he borrows money from me and borrows money. I forget. So he never really has to pay.
First of all,
stop. I told you. You now have to stop giving him money.
Howard,
this is it.
It's an intervention I'm doing.
My doorman, I pay him 20% every $10 I borrow. So if
you don't pay me interest.
Well,
no one here is lending you money anymore. No one. I'm telling you, no one is.
You know what?
I
can't believe John called me cheap because I don't constantly lend him money.
Yeah.
No,
it's unbelievable.
No, it's not that you don't lend me money, but
you're
cheap. Very tight with your cash.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm not tight with it. I just give it to you.
I don't give it to you.
I never see you offer it to offer
his money to people.
Like everybody needs money. All right, for instance, I've bought you lunch, haven't I?
I've bought you.
My favorite thing.
I've bought you.
Yes, I have. You've never bought lunch ever.
I was
so shocked how when I was an intern, Gary, said let's have dinner once. I had no money. And I went out to eat with Gary, and we split the bill. I had $0.
Gary doesn't have any money.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, I assumed the producer would have, would leave.
No, he doesn't have money.
Don't assume. But he knows exactly how much money Artie has in his pocket.
How about cheap? John remembers that for 50 years already. Right. It's 100 years ago Gary didn't treat you to dinner.
And when you started, I was not making much more than you.
I know, but I didn't know that.
But my point is, John will tell you can get money from Artie. He knows exactly what Artie's got.
For some insane reason, one day Robin needed to borrow a little bit of money from me, cash, and she mentioned it to John, and John said, "Oh, it's Tuesday. Artie should have about $120."
Yeah, you can get it from Artie.
And he knew what you had.
Yeah, which
Well,
creepy.
First of all, Robin
is creepy.
You know, Robin's borrowed cash from me. Once you borrowed $100 in one shot.
Yeah, but you know she's going to give it back.
That's right. You get it back the next day.
Robin paid me back like 2 hours later.
Hey, Howard, you know what? I got to tell you a story.
You do it every week.
Let me tell you a good story about John. John and I did an appearance in, I think, Cleveland. This was about 4 years ago. And we were with our friend, right? So we had a car that drove us there. We get up into the strip club. We start getting dancing and everything. And John goes, I left my wallet on the car. Can you lend me $100 to our friend?
Right.
And our friend goes, no. Go downstairs. Go in the car. Cross right outside. Go get your wallet. I'm not going to do that. So then John just sat on the side. Then he tried to hit me up for money. And I go, no, your wallet's in the car. It's right downstairs.
Well,
Go get it. This was at a strip club.
The wallet had no money, and I had no money in the bank.
No, there was money in the wallet. You just didn't want to get it.
No, I promised there was no money in the wallet. That's why I was...
Well, you said your wallet's right downstairs.
I was trying to just... Because I had no money, and I had no money in the bank, and there was no way I was going to get any money, so I was hoping to borrow it.
But they're cheap. They were cheap with you, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
They're cheap guys.
I don't think that not lending people money is cheap.
John, you're a grown man with a family. Bring a wallet to work with money in it.
The best story, though, is still the story when you were going to Philadelphia.
Oh, so it's classic.
No.
We go to get on the train to go to Philadelphia. We're going to do an appearance for the whole day.
Right.
We get out of the cab, and he goes, I don't have any money. All right, so we pay for the cab. Right, now we're waiting for the train. I go, I'll meet you guys in 2 seconds. I'm going to get a soda. John goes, could you pick me up like a Diet Pepsi? All right, fine, because he's got no money on him. We get on the train. We start going. John goes, could I borrow your cell phone for a little while? So, of course, John makes a couple of calls on his cell phone. He's got to do some business.
You're still not aggravated.
We get to the...
But you're cheap.
We get to the...
It wasn't Gary's.
You're not cheap, John. Gary is.
Ross's.
No, Ross's was for the way home, because you don't want to... John knows how to spread out the love.
Right.
So mine was for the way down.
Right.
Then we get to the appearance. Stephen Singer Jeweler. Stephen was nice enough to buy us lunch. So, of course, John eats lunch that way. So now he's got through the whole day. Still has not spent a penny. Right?
There you go.
Now we go back to the train.
I was so proud of myself.
We get back on the train to come back to New York. Now it's Ross's cell phone that John needs to use most of the way home.
Right. Run down that battery and run up the bill.
Then we get to Penn Station. And, of course, now John's like, Ross, could you, I need a cab fare home. You know, because he had no money to get home.
It's like having a kid.
Howard, those were the days I really didn't have any money.
Those were not that long ago, John. That was 2 years ago, those
You're
days.
a grown man. You should quit here if you can't make enough money to support them.
Meanwhile, 2 years ago, he still had an apartment in New York,
Right.
a house on the island.
Tons of stocks.
He's got a kid in private school.
I bet you his net worth is $1 million.
But he has no money.
We'd have to kill him to find out how much he's worth.
I'm telling you what he's worth.
Let me just say this, that yesterday, Artie, when you left, because Artie bought lunch yesterday.
Yeah.
So then he goes, here.
No kidding.
So he goes, John, you pick up the cab. I realized as he's walking out, I had no wallet, but I couldn't ask Artie to let me.
John, that happened. You know what? About 3 months ago, I went out to Long Island to be with my kids. Right?
Yeah.
And I forgot my money clip. I keep my money in a clip.
Yeah, so you've done it too.
No,
but this is the first time this ever happened to me, I'd say, in the last 20 years. Okay? Happened once. I forgot to put my money in my pants. I said to Gary, the limo driver, I said, I've forgotten my money. Can you lend me $50?
All right, there you go.
I borrowed the $50. Pulls me up and goes, just pay me back the next time I see you. I said, no, wait here. I'm going to run upstairs. I have to get your money. I don't want to owe you money. Why should you have to shell out my money for me? Now, that happened. I understand that happens once in a while.
But
you do this
John,
every day.
It's a way of life.
It's every day. And don't you get sick of the tension of trying to grub up money? Don't you? Isn't it tense for you to be in a cab?
Or to have everybody you see saying, John, when are you paying me?
And don't you see it's a way of becoming a baby that you haven't grown up? Like the cab driver now is even babysitting you while you're waiting for your money.
Well, you know what?
It's your way of getting people involved.
Everything has got to be psychoanalyzed.
Of course it does. It's a major thing. Dude, do you have any fantasies that, like, wow, I'll be really organized. I'll buy one of those messenger bags or a knapsack.
Yes,
I'll put all my things in there for the day. Wouldn't that be grand to, like, know where everything is?
Yes.
You see that stupid purse I carry around like a woman?
Yeah.
You know why I carry it? I don't like carrying a purse. I feel like a big... Want to know something? I got my money in there. I got my keys in there. I got my mace in there. I got my...
But what John has to realize,
mace.
if everybody was...
Mace! So I can mace you!
If everybody was like John, he wouldn't be able to be the mess that he is.
Right.